After Primal, which quite frankly should have been a DLC for 4, Ubisoft have finally given us Far Cry 5, giving us a new stomping ground in Central North America. But have they managed to right the wrongs that they did with the last Far Cry and get back on form? You're thrown into the story in typical Far Cry fashion. All is going well, then the lead nutjob ruins your day and you're in a fight for survival, building up a resistance force to help you stop the bad guys. So, much of the same. You liberate each region in turn by wrecking operations to release it to the rebel group until you pull the area boss out of hiding, and this must be done in each of the 3 zones before being able to face the main antagonist. This screams Ghost Recon Wildlands at me, probably because I played it not that long ago, and it's not a bad way of doing it, but it did make it feel a bit samey. There are a few changes that Ubi have brought to the table in this iteration. For a start, there is no more climbing those damn towers, something the game takes a jab at early on, with you instead just finding maps to reveal points of interest that can then be sold later on for a bit of money. Crafting is a little different too. You no longer need to hunt, except for making money, as it serves no purpose beyond selling. This actually feels like an omission to me personally, as the crafting added a little extra layer of depth. With that said, explosives and the sort can still be crafted on the fly, weapons can still be customised to suit your needs, and there is a good selection to suit all situations and playstyles. Allies are a welcome addition, with a good diverse split between loud, stealthy, utility, and so on. These make for a much more dynamic play when storming outposts, although it can be a hindrance at times due to the fairly average AI. Having an ally only take a shot after you do, a la Ghost Recon, would have been a great help in more instances than I can begin to count, and whilst I can live without it, I feel Ubi missed an opportunity there to really up the ante for when going full ninja. If there's one thing to say about Far Cry 5, it's that the action never bloody stops. Imagine this. You've just finished liberating an outpost and you think to yourself, let's have a sit down, grab a nice cup of tea and relax. Then before the kettle's even boiled, there's a hunting party out to pump you full of drug bullets, mow you down with helicopters or flipping Spitfires, God knows what else. My first session of this game left me genuinely burnt out, but that's in no way a grievance. The game forces you to be on your toes and constantly thinking and looking at your surroundings for cover to slide behind for when you inevitably fall foul of a hail of bullets. And I love it. Talking of bullets, ammo isn't exactly scarce in Far Cry 5, but I found myself running out of ammo often enough that I feel it balanced well on normal difficulty. As for the things firing those bullets, gunplay is pretty much the standard. Lock-on is a thing, but it's subtle and it doesn't hold your hand. The exception is when firing from the driver's seat, in which case your character will follow the target to some degree. Now, I normally hate lock-on, but it's well implemented, and admittedly, I found this to be something I was thankful for, as it made drive-by shooting actually a viable option. And you will be drive-by shooting, as the map is quite large, vehicles are basically a requirement. Unless you want to trek across a mountain and get mauled by a cougar, I won't judge. Now, driving is decently implemented. The addition of a auto drive, which will either follow the road you're on or drive to a waypoint, is a nice touch, and the driving AI is pretty good. Working its way around most situations, I expected to confuse it. Plane and helicopter controls are a bit poor, however, which is only exasperated by the fact that some missions force you to have a dogfight. Rockstar showed the right way to do it a long time ago, and I can't help but wonder why everyone else tries to do it differently. In terms of longevity, there's a good amount of game here. Each zone will take around 6 to 8 hours if you rush through the story only, and probably about 12 to 14 if you do all missions. Replayability isn't really a thing in these sorts of games, but you'll definitely get your money's worth in terms of hours of gameplay. The story is, as previously stated, distinctly Far Cry. It's not bad, and Ubi have done a decent job tackling a lot of issues that plague today's world. Don't get me wrong, it's no Oscar-winning writing, but it's compelling enough, and focuses on an enemy not really touched in games, making it feel fresh. Characters have enough variance to keep it interesting, with the 4 antagonists all having their own personality, traits and backstories that feel genuine. Quite a few characters I did find lacked depth, however, as though all the focus had been given to the main four during writing, and everyone else neglected. Aesthetically speaking, I have to admit this game looks damn good. The Junior engine really shows its power here, but more shocking is how well optimised this game is. Even low-range GPUs like the 1050 series will be able to play this game quite happily with the settings up high. I've got to give the guys at Ubi a round of applause here. This is honestly one of the best optimised games I've seen in a long time. Sound design is also pretty solid. Explosions sound big, and gunfire sounds like actual firearms instead of just potato guns. There are other little nuances too, like your character has a slight wobble when high up, that adds nicely to make the game more immersive. Overall, it's the same Far Cry we all know and love. It's better than Primal or 4, and in my opinion, it's a return to the quality of game we saw in 3. The game is beautifully crafted, fun, and it's just downright adrenaline fueled. And it's good to see that Ubisoft have iterated somewhat over previous installments. This game lands a strong 8.5 out of 10. It could have scored higher if the story was better, and with some work on things like Ally AI, but Ubisoft have shown here why they're one of the big dogs in the business. Strongly recommended, and worth its retail price. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.